Inside the One Piece community, the topic of which era is the strongest is brought up pretty frequently, as some people believe that Roger's era is the strongest, while others think that the modern era is the strongest. And then there's a small group of people out there that feel like Joyboy's era was the strongest. And so since everybody's debating it, why don't I just mesh every single era into one era and see how they would interact with each other? So yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing in this video, so strap in because I'm going to get real in depth with it. But before I get into the video, if you guys enjoy content like this, you know what to do, hit that like button and subscribe, as I do post content like this regularly, and to be honest, it's a win-win. You guys show me love and support and I give it back to you in the form of videos. Whether it's One Piece, other anime, or just fiction in general, in due time I plan on covering it, so be there when I go there. I felt that's enough of my rambling. When I get into the video, see what would happen if every single One Piece era merged into one. As we begin, I'm going to go over the format of this video so you guys will know how it'll play out. So since this idea can be so expansive, I've decided to split up into two parts that I'll cover in obviously two different videos, this one being the first one. This video will cover how they will interact and navigate through the world naturally, while the other video will be a battle royale. Now, not to spoil anything in this video, the SI Massive battle will take place, but the differences between this one and the other video is the fact that the other video will be more an era versus era, instead of them just going into the world and maybe eras may come together to then fight other people inside their eras. Now, I could make a third video on this, but I don't have an idea that's going to stick yet, so I'm not going to say there's going to be a third part. But just know that there may be a third part. But moving on from the two different parts, I'm now going to get into the rules of this video. First was pretty simple, and it's going to be that every era will be put into this one. And to be exact, they'll spawn in as Luffy arrives on Elbaf. The second rule is that everybody will be in their primes, meaning if they've had their prime already, they'll revert into it, but if they haven't reached it yet, they're not going to go into it. For example, somebody like Luffy isn't going to sprout into his prime, while somebody that's coming back like Whitebeard or just somebody that's already alive like Sengoku will go into their primes. And while I might as well get into the third rule, and the third rule is that if you're dead and you died recently, yes, you will be coming back, and if you died way in the past, yes, you will be coming back as well. Everybody that's important will be coming back for this video, and as I said, if they had their primes, they'll go into their primes, but if they didn't reach their primes, they'll just come back as they were. By the way, the resurrection does include people like Kaido and Big Mom who have died recently. So I feel like with that being said, I've covered every rule that I need to. If there's an extra rule that's going to come up later, I'll obviously say it. But aside from that, these are the main core rules that I'm going to be going by in this video. So with that being said, when I get straight into the video and see what happened if every single One Piece era merged into one. Now to begin, since everyone's been merged into one era, it's going to be a fat mess. So why don't I just take it back a step and just list a few people that will be coming back. People like Roger, Rocks, Whitebeard, Oden, and obviously many other greats will reappear. Now with them coming back, the first thing you're going to think of is, where are they going to come back? Are they going to sprout out of their graves? Are they going to appear on some random island? And don't worry, I've got that sorted. Now for somebody like Kaido who presumably died in lava, I'm gonna obviously put him in a place where he's not going to be surrounded by lava, so he would die again. I don't even think he would die in lava, but obviously I'm gonna put him in a nice place. So I'm gonna put him on some random island. While somebody like Oden, I'm just gonna stick him on Wano. Now for somebody like Roger, I'm gonna make him reappear on the stage he was executed on, mainly because we don't know what they did with his body. And so on the other hand, we have Whitebeard and Ace, and I'm going to make them reappear and just come out of their graves, Jason Todd style. Now for the other people that are going to be coming back, I feel like with the explanation I just gave, you should know what I'm going to do with them. I feel like I've been focusing on the pirates too much. Well, I'll focus on the marines for a little bit and see what they're going to be up to. Now with every single old king coming back, and when I say every single, I mean the ones from 800 years ago. Not the ones from in between, since we don't know any of them, but we do know that there were obviously 18 back in the day, since, well, Emu was one and then Lily was another, so there's 18 left. Now although it's not directly stated, I'm kind of inclined to believe that those original 18 rulers should be able to fight, since I mean if they were fighting Joyboy or somebody there was fighting Joyboy, I'm going to assume that maybe they were the ones that were doing it. So I'm going to say they're combined, and I'm going to say they're pretty strong, so that's also another plus for the world government. Saturn is going to come back as well, which is pretty funny since he literally just died. So with all the marine soldiers who are old like Sengoku, Shiryu and the rest turning back into their younger selves, this now allows the Marines to band up and become even stronger, and you can even say the Gorosei and maybe even the Holy Knights will get stronger as they've grown younger as well, Garland being a perfect example of it. Now a lot of historical figures that we do know will come back, but one person I quickly want to talk about is Noland. Now Nolan's not really gonna have a massive role in this story since he's kind of off to his side and just doing his own thing, so I'm just gonna explain his little side quest here and then I'll get back into the main video. Nolan is gonna reappear and he's gonna go check out his family and see where his descendants are up to. Then he's gonna go to the Sky Islands. That's pretty much it for Nolan, because well, he's not really tied to the bigger picture in this video, so I'll leave Nolan here and get back into the main video. Now in the beginning, the Marines and the world government are going to see this as a very positive thing since, well, their people are coming back. But then immediately they begin to realize, wait, if my people are back, what about the other people that we used to face? Immediately you would have people like Shiki and whatnot causing havoc wherever they go. And so now this forces the world government to put up an emergency letter and tell everybody in the world that, well, it's not safe at all. Wanted posters for people that they thought were dead are going to be reissued once more, and they're going to put a must kill hit out on Joyboy. Now you may be thinking, why would they put a must hit out on Joyboy if they don't want the world knowing about him? Well, to be honest, at this point Emu's probably had enough. I mean, he already had a scare with MF and Joyboy's Haki, and now Joyboy could possibly be back. And then you have Roger running around, and Roger's already made a statement already since, well, it's Roger, he's not going to stay quiet. So when you have all these people running around and the world is getting hectic, a must kill out on a lot of people is going to be issued. People like Rayleigh and Crocus are going to see them now in the younger forms and then see that they've put a wanted poster out for Roger, and immediately they're going to step to it. They know what's coming. And so with all that commotion going on, why don't I dial it back a little bit and just focus on Luffy, since Luffy is our protagonist. Now Luffy and everybody else there would know that something's up since a few old giants have reappeared, and obviously they're laughing, making jokes and whatnot, but they're like, why are old giants reappearing? And so shortly after that, they're then going to see a newspaper flying, and it's going to have a bunch of wanted posters and just a massive list of people that could have come back. And by an amazing coincidence and miracle, a photographer was able to snap a photo of Whitebeard and Ace walking away from their graves, and so Luffy will see this and be like, what is going on? Now everybody's first reaction is to think that this is going to be fake, but with the old giants reappearing around them, they're forced to believe it, meaning Luffy's gonna be in a weird spot. I mean, yes, Ace is back, but it's like, what should I do? Now personally, and I feel like this is what a lot of people are going to know about Luffy, is the fact that yes, Ace is back, but he's not going to stop his journey just because Ace is now alive. I mean, yes, whoop-de-doo, Ace is alive, he's probably gonna cry over it, but after that, he has his own journey that he has to go on, and so he's gonna be like, well, I mean, he's back now, at least I know he's back, I'm just gonna continue on my journey. So I don't believe it's going to halt his progression inside of Elbaf, but something that's gonna happen is. So why don't I shift the story onto somebody that we all know. Appearing in front of an island we all know called Hachinosu, there's gonna be a man on a ship looking at that island thinking, what the hell has happened since I've left? He's then gonna see a ship in a port with a similar Jolly Roger to him and be like, are we really doing this? Have I really got dick ears in 2025? And so with him obviously opening up his ship and then walking around for a little bit and then seeing that somebody is in the throne that he used to sit in, he's gonna walk up there and be like, okay, why are you here? And with Blackbeard seeing the man in front of him, he's going to be shocked. And as we all know, Blackbeard is somebody who likes to be in the loop, but he didn't know that this man was back. And with him being back, Blackbeard gets up, gives him his gratitude, and is like, rocks, I'm glad you're back. Now I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with how Blackbeard acts when he respects somebody. He quite literally dick eats them. And since it's rocks, he's going to be giving him the respect that he definitely deserves. And so obviously they're going to be chopping it up. Blackbeard's going to say, oh, he's a massive fan of him and everything, and then they're going to be talking and whatnot. But then I now want to focus on somebody that Blackbeard has in his possession that is going to be extremely key for this story. See, down below, Blackbeard has somebody that Rocks hates to his core, and that's Garp. And remember, Garp to everybody else inside the world, well, before that he seemed dead, but they now know that he should be alive, but they don't know where he is. For all they know, he could have reappeared in another island, or he could be on Hachinosu. But to Blackbeard and everybody else, and to us the audience, we all know that he's very much alive, and to be honest, he's in his prime right now, but he's just chained up. And so after having some drinks and whatnot, Blackbeard is going to gloat about how he captured Garp, and now he's going to use him for ransom against the world government. But Rox has a completely different idea to him. Rox is going to immediately say, alright, listen, I know you got your grand plan, right? but why don't we just execute him? Like, he's not a good person. Like, let's just execute him. And Blackbeard at first is gonna be like, well, why? But Roxy's gonna be like, listen, you're trying to rule the world in this like little weird way where you want to like scheme and plot things. No, we're gonna go take over the world by force. The reason this is such a statement is because number one, this is going to be prime Garp they're taking out, and so to the rest of the world it's going to be like, okay, they're serious, because a hero that we all know and love is being taken out, while as we know in reality all they did was capture him while he was old, and then he's just reverted back into his prime, and then they're going to take the credit for it. And this is a smart strategy what they're doing, and they're going to announce it to the world as well and give them a time and date, the exact same way Ace was inside the Marineford. So with everybody else out there inside the world doing their own thing, this is going to spread like wildfire, and everybody's going to know that Garp is being executed in Hachinosu, forcing everybody to go there. Now people like Nolan and Big Mom aren't going to go there because, well, it doesn't really concern them. I mean, Big Mom just wants to go back to her territory and regroup and just recuperate and everything, because to be honest, it's been ransacked since Whole Cake Island. And as I said before, Nolan's on his own little adventure, and there are a few other people that I haven't mentioned yet that just won't be involved because, well, they don't need to. Another group that won't be involved that we all know is Cross Guild. They won't go because, well, there's no need, and even if the battle does take place, we know how Buggy is going to move. He's going to come in last second, but he won't be appearing here, and that's for a very good reason. And so this calls for a lot of people to just appear there. Even if they have their own agendas, they're still going to go there because, well, it's going to be a massive attraction place. I'm going to give you guys 3 examples to people that may go there and their reasons. Roger and Whitebeard are going to go there because, well, they're tied to Garp, and Whitebeard is more tied through Ace. And I know you guys are going to be like, oh, but he let Ace die. Well, Ace understood why Garp didn't act out, and so Roger's still going to go there because, well, he didn't really know about Ace's death, and second of all, well, he trusted Garp a lot. I mean, we saw it. You're then going to have people going there for agendas like Shanks. Shanks knows that Blackbeard is 100% going to be there, and he knows that other people that can support him are going to be there, so he's going to go. And on top of that, you then have the people that want chaos like Kaido and Shiki and all the other people that are around that are going to go there as well. Essentially, this execution allows every major player to be there at one spot. Now, there are going to be a few that won't be here, but the majority of them will be. And obviously, as I said before, with the people that want to save Garp like Ace and Roger, the Marines are going to be there as well. So people like Sengoku, you may even see Sakazuki step out and see what he can do on that island. And so one by one, as soon as the execution is announced, you have people rushing there to go stop it. Now, if you pay very close attention, I've listed out a multitude of people, but I've forgotten about one person who's extremely pivotal to the story, and that's Joyboy. And don't worry, he is going to appear, but just give him some time. He's doing a few things right now and he will appear later. Also, another group that I quickly want to focus on is the Revolutionary Army. They will be sort of present, but they're not going to be present here. I'm going to be thinking, oh, but why doesn't Dragon go after Garp? Well, to be honest, Dragon's kind of busy right now, since with all these people coming back, he now has to handle his forces correctly. Remember, you have people like Ginny just randomly reappearing and whatnot. He's gonna have to take care of them. But moving back onto the execution, you now have people rolling in. The Marines are gonna come in first, then it's gonna be Roger, then it's gonna be Whitebeard, then it's gonna be a flood of pirates that are just there for the chaos. And then while everybody's there, arriving in fashion like he always does, Luffy will appear with his crew. And the crew and Luffy have one job. It's to rescue Garp. Now, of all the different people on the island, it's going to be extremely mesmerizing for the crew, as they're going to see many old heads that they are pretty excited to see. But obviously, Luffy says they have one goal, and Zoro makes sure that they stay on that one goal, and that is to go rescue Garp. Everything they do after that is up to them. Preferably, they want to get off the island, since lingering on there is probably going to make it into a bloodbath. So they are solely there to rescue Garp, and you're going to see at certain points where the crew even deny their one-on-one fights that they may get on the island, just so they can stick with Luffy so he gets there to Garp. So with Luffy arriving on the island, as I said, he goes straight towards Garp, and you're going to have people coming out of the woodwork to come and challenge him. For instance, the first person is going to be Kaido, and the reason for Kaido being here is extremely obvious. I mean, everybody that he wants to fight is on that island, and especially Luffy, the person that defeated him. But before Luffy and Kaido can attack each other again, somebody else intervenes that shocks all of them. Now, although they haven't seen him in person before, they know somebody that looks extremely like him, and they can just get that vibe from him. and I think you guys should know who I'm pointing towards with this, and that's Oden. Oden is gonna appear and he's gonna stop Kaido, and he's gonna have another sword in his hand. Now I know you guys gonna be thinking, okay wait, first of all, how did Oden get here? Second of all, why has he got another sword in his hand? And third of all, isn't he gonna try to take Enma back from Zoro? Now, small side story. What had happened when Oden came back was they explained to him what happened with Onigashima and the raid and everything. And then after that, they was obviously like, okay, well, yeah, Zoro did kind of take Enma, but I mean, the sword seemed to assimilate with him, and Oden's fine with that. I mean, in person now, he can see that Enma is actually assimilated with Zoro. So he's like, you know what, I'll let you have the blade. So what did they do? They decided to grab another sword, and they're like, you know what, here, have it. But you're not actually going to keep it. You're going to do something else with it. I'm going to get into that later, but he's like, okay, I'll take this blade. And so he takes the blade and takes his other blade that he used to have and rushes off. And while he's out there, he somehow runs into Marco. Since Marco was flying back to Wano to go tell him, they linked up and then they went to go find Whitebeard. And so that's why he's here. And so he unsheaths his other sword, and it's going to be Shisui. So yes, Oden will now be fighting Kaido with Shisui. And so this allows Oden and Kaido to fight for the third time. And so now when they move closer towards the stage, they now get to see the even bigger fights like Blackbeard versus Whitebeard. Now many of you may be thinking, okay, so how is this fight really going to work? Are they both going to have the Quake Fruit? Is only one of them going to have the Quake Fruit? And so this is going to be a massive explanation for everybody else inside the video that may share similar devil fruits to other people. Now if your devil fruit has been taken by somebody else, I'm sorry to tell you, but that devil fruit is gone. Now if it's out there in the world randomly and nobody's taken it yet, then of course you're going to get that devil fruit back. But as we know, and especially for Whitebeard, his fruit is gone. Since, I mean, Blackbeard ate it. He literally ate it out of him. I mean, we don't know what he did, but it seems to be like he ate his heart or something. While people like Ace and Sabo's gonna keep it, and Ace is gonna stay devil fruitless, which is kind of a hit to how strong he was before. But nevertheless, with that being explained, we now have Whitebeard and Blackbeard fighting. You have Rocks, Roger, and everybody else fighting. And I even say Shanks would try to help Whitebeard in that sense. Well, Shanks does want to get his licking on Blackbeard. And so it's just chaos everywhere. But with that chaos, allows him to slip past. And so all it really does is just allows him to get to the top of the stage. Now you could say somebody like Kuzan's guarding it, but I doubt he'll be guarding the stage when there's a bunch of people fighting down there. So yeah, he's somewhere down there. He may try to stop him, but I can see somebody else just coming in to take him down. Out of the many hundreds of people that are going to be there, there are a lot of people that can fight him. So I'm going to assume he's going to be taken down once more. And so that allows the crew to get up to Garp. Luffy's going to obviously be like, okay, where's the key? Zoro's like, move, and he just slices the chains. Now I don't know how strong these chains are, but I'm going to assume that Zoro should be able to slice these chains off. I mean, if he can't, then that's a bit disappointing, isn't it? But once Garp is free, he's going to be pissed. I mean livid. Like, I'm talking like he's looking at Rocks, then Kuzan, then Blackbeard. He's looking to take all their heads off immediately. So he jumps off at that stage and he does a little galaxy impact on Rocks. And him, Roger, and whoever else that wants to chip in is now fighting Rocks once again. Now even if Garp wants to rampage about for a little bit, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, we should leave. But people need to understand that there are a lot of grudges on this battlefield. With all these people coming back, there are a lot of grudges that they still hold even in death, and may have even been created after death, that they're now going to be like, yeah, I need to settle this right here and now. And so that's going to be the massive difference between this and Marineford. While Marineford, you could say, yeah, the war could have been stopped. Here, it's not stopping until one side is gone. And so with that being said, the complete annihilation of Rocks and the Blackbeard pirates happens here because, well, I mean, people aren't going to stop here until they're gone. And it's going to get to a certain point where I feel like people are going to be like, okay, well, they're gone. Maybe we should stop now. And then you're going to have people there like Kaido and Shiki and whatnot that are going to instigate and continue to push it on. So it's a double-edged sword. And so by the end of it, as I said, Blackbeard and Rocks are going to be gone. A few other people may pass away as well. But in the end, the good guys are going to win. As the war's ending, a massive elephant is going to appear. And a man is going to jump off of it and land on the island, shocking everybody. And I think by now you guys should know what this is. Yeah, it's Joyboy. And it's pretty obvious to us why he's there. He's there for Luffy. And so he's going to call out for Luffy and tell Luffy to come with him. And so they're going to go. Now, a few other people are going to tag along with him, like the Whitebeard Pirates, the Roger Pirates, and some few other people. because obviously they know about Joyboy, mainly the Roger pirates, but Whitebeard's gonna be like, okay, you know what, why not I tag along as well, since obviously he wants to catch up with Roger and Ace wants to chill with Luffy for a little bit. And so while they're all on top of Zunisha, a lot of interactions are gonna take place, but the main interaction we're gonna focus on is Luffy, Roger and Joyboy. I feel like Roger and Joyboy would try to talk about the One Piece around Luffy and he'd be like, shut up please, I'm not trying to hear a single word that's coming out of your mouths. And so then they're gonna be like, you know what, why don't we just take you there? Now Luffy isn't gonna want direct directions, but he won't mind them helping him out a little bit. So what's gonna happen is that for a little while Luffy is going to be traveling around with them to go find the One Piece, and so this is where a few crews are just gonna get off and just do what they need to do. One crew being Whitebeard's crew. Now I'm going to focus on Whitebeard's crew and then go back to Joyboy, Roger and Luffy, since we all know that they're going to be able to find the One Piece. I mean, there isn't really anything that can stop them on the sea unless the world government sends every single force they have, and then yeah, maybe you can take them down. But with that being said, Whitebeard, Oden, Ace and just the rest of the Whitebeard pirates are going to go off and do what Oden needs to do. Now they're on the lookout for one man, and that one man is somebody we're going to switch our focus onto. Waking up on a random island, we have Ryuma staring into space like, okay, where am I? So he gets up and he decides to walk around for a little bit, and luckily he's able to find a town that has a bar. Now he just walks in and is just listening into the conversations that are happening inside the bar, and one of them is talking about all the people that have come back, and they even talk about him for a moment. And these drunk guys bring him up in a conversation with somebody else, since they didn't appear at Hachinosu, or apparently didn't appear at Hachinosu. And so he hears them out, and he hears the name Mihawk and how he's the world's strongest swordsman, and they're like, who would win? The god of the sword or the world's strongest swordsman? And so since he's interested, he forces them to tell them everything they know about Mihawk, while then also taking a massive stack of wanted posters and just newspapers on the thing. So he's like, okay, cool, alright, I know everything I need to know about Mihawk, and then just leaves the bar, meaning he's now on a new quest to go find Mihawk. So while he's traveling from town to town trying to find Mihawk and just any information he can get about Cross Guild, he sometimes drops his name, and that spreads like wildfire. And so after some time of searching, he's now able to pinpoint where Cross Guild is, but as he's about to pull up, another ship pulls up in front of him. Not just one, actually a full fleet. Now at this point, Ryuma's pretty used to pirate crews coming after him, but he looks at the Jolly Roger of this one and is like, wait, hold on, isn't this a pirate crew I'm meant to fear? And he is right, but instead of directly coming at him, what they do is they launch something at him that he thinks is going to be harmful, but when he actually senses it, he realizes what it is and he grabs it, and after that, a swordsman jumps off and challenges him. And so while smiling, Oden announces who he is, and Ryuma's pretty shocked to see that a descendant of the Kozuki is here, and he's actually pretty happy about it. But then again, Oden is just challenging him to a fight, so he's going to take that fight immediately. But Whitebeard stops it and is like, you know what, I think it's better if you guys fight on land. So they go to land, they fight there, and we all know who wins. It's going to be Ryuma. And so once Ryuma wins, he's now going to be like, okay, cool, yeah, you were a good fight, you're a really good warm-up fight, but I'm now trying to fight that world's strongest swordsman. And Whitebeard's going to be like, hey, look, listen, we're pretty close to them, so why don't we give them a visit? And so the Whitebeard pirates plus Ryuma give Cross Guild a visit. Now immediately Cross Guild thinks they're being attacked, but Whitebeard makes it known that he's not attacking them, he just wants Mihawk to fight Ryuma, and Mihawk is extremely excited for this fight. Now the only other person that may want to fight here is actually Crocodile, but I feel like Whitebeard's just going to put him in the dirt as soon as he even tries to step to him. So why don't we just focus on Mihawk versus Ryuma. Now Mihawk versus Ryuma is an extremely explosive fight, and it's a fight that goes on for ages. But in the end, one person needs to win, and after taking him down, he then collapses himself as well, but the winner was Ryuma. Now so everybody else is going to be pretty clear cut to say that, okay, well, Ryuma won, so he's technically the strongest. But to the two swordsmen, they see each other as equal and only see it as if one person wins, it just means that they did a better move somewhere throughout the fight than the other. It's not necessarily like the other one is just blatantly better, it's more like they played the cards in their favor somewhere throughout the battle, meaning they was able to win. So if they were to fight each other another time, they could get a completely different outcome. And so basically they become bum buddies. But with that being said, I might as well segue back into Luffy since he is our protagonist after all. So by now Luffy found the One Piece, and he's now obviously going to do the job that him, Roger and Joyboy need to do in the end, and that's to take down the world government. And so their crews and many other affiliated crews like the Redhead Pirates, Whitebeard Pirates, the Revolutionary Army, and just everything else that's out there that will assist them go after the world government. And it's pretty one-sided at this point. I mean, there are far too many great pirates out there that can help Luffy, and obviously the Revolutionary Army as well, coming back in their full force. So we know how that ends. Luffy is obviously able to defeat Emu along with Joyboy and Roger, and the One Piece world is in a pretty good spot. I mean, they did take out most of the bad people during the Blackbeard and Garp situation, so yeah, I'd say the world is pretty good now. So with that being said, why don't I wrap up the video? And so in conclusion, who's really the winner out of all of this? Well, I mean, it's Luffy. I mean, who else would be the winner out of all of this? I mean, if a few events went differently, you could say it could go into the favor of other people, but since so many people already know about the prophecy and whatnot, I think Luffy is going to be the main benefactor of this. If you think differently, comment down below, but yeah, I feel like the main benefactor of this whole situation is just Luffy. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this version of this what if, because I can tell you right now, I could have wrote 10 different scripts for this. This idea is very expansive, and I do encourage other people to do this idea as well. I don't know if other people have done it, because I don't really watch One Piece content like this, so if they have done it, then that's my bad. I'm like, yeah, but still. I really did love making this video. It's a very like wacky but also serious one at the exact same time, since so many things can happen. I tried to include as many people as possible without making it too expansive, since I do understand that some people may not like it when you include everything, but then obviously you want people to include like a lot of things inside of it. So I tried to keep that good balance. I was able to do it the best that I could for you guys. So yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, this may be one of my last One Piece videos for a little while, because I have a lot of cross-verse videos that I want to do. I'm like very, very eager to do them. So I don't know when this video is going out, but I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for all the support. So I shall see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.